Alright guys, Technical here again today. We're going to be talking through the change that was indeed confirmed yesterday. I talked about it in yesterday's video. It was announced 45 minutes-ish after the video went live, which is better than it has been in the past. So we're going to go through that today, some other details you may have missed in some other stories, and then the Pro League action from yesterday, as we typically do on days like this. So yeah, this video is coming out a little bit later than it usually would on this day because I was a bit busy this morning. You'll find out details of that hopefully very soon. So yeah, like if you guys enjoy, subscribe if you're new as always, and let's hop right into it as we do here. So Splyce confirmed this change. They're going to be bringing in Nolson for accuracy. Now this isn't necessarily a complete one-for-one swap. I did talk about it in yesterday's video the definite possibility of Aqua wanting to use the ICR. So of course the current setup is Jerd on the full-time SMG, Temp as is support SMG but sometimes a Maddox depending on the map. Then you have Looney who's pretty much always a Maddox, and Aqua who's also been his Maddox duo, and then accuracy in that main assault rifle role is how it's been him using the ICR or very occasionally a Maddox depending on the map. So okay, so that's the situation as it was. Aqua is of course in theory, a more talented player, I think, than accuracy. Some of you guys are pointing out in the comments that accuracy hasn't been necessarily bad, which I agree with. But if you're looking at the actual players on the team, who are you going to swap out? You know, if you are going to make a roster change, if you are going to try a substitute, supposedly the team chemistry hasn't exactly been perfect on this team. And a guy like Nolson he's not a guy who's going to destroy your chemistry, let's put it that way. He's a pretty, seems a pretty quiet guy. Of course, he's going to contribute to the way the team wants to play, but he's not going to be like a hot-headed player, which is going to cause a team to collapse, as some of the guys on this team are. Of course, Looney on the team has typically been very good at keeping things together. Of course, last year he managed to win 3 championships with Gunless on this team and Slasher and TJ. Of course, the first championship was with Methods, not Slasher, but still very impressive stuff to keep all those hotheads under control. And then, of course, this season, maybe with 5v5, it's a little bit more difficult. And also, if you are going to improve, the team hasn't been doing so well in the league at all. Losing, of course, to Elevate and lose to Denial, I think, as well. So, of course, they're looking to make a change ahead of Anaheim. Accuracy is the guy they're going to swap out. But as I said, it may well be Aqua moving into the ICR role, with Nolson coming in as the Maddox support for Looney. Because, yes, Aqua, in theory, I guess, is a more talented player. He's maybe slightly better in Search and Destroy. Accuracy was probably the better player last year, but over the course of their career, I'd probably say Aqua has more raw talent. So yeah, I think it makes sense as a change. You're not going to switch out any of the other players, so it's probably worth trying pre-Anaheim, and then just so you can see, maybe you go back to how it was, maybe you change around roles, maybe you try and get another roster change in with Gunless potentially being on the radar. So this is the change. Of course, Nolson, very talented player. So yeah, he tweets the following: very excited to get these matches on the way, and it's going to be a whole new experience for myself, and hopefully we'll be producing some magical stuff. Hashtag on the hunt. And just to bring up his statistics here, these are the stats from CWL Las Vegas all the way at the start of the year. And of course, I'm ordering it by KD. Adjusted KD is also pretty good, but it's heavily influenced by Search and Destroy. So I still kind of prefer kill-death ratio for my personal taste. Maybe I'm just too old school. So anyway, Dashi, of course, leading it up. RST's, Gunless, Alex, these players all up here that we know of. Temp, and then Nolson chilling here at number 6 with a 1.26 KD, 1.21 adjusted KD over the course of the tournament. So he was right up there at the start of the year and really made his name. And of course, at the Pro League qualifier, wasn't quite as good, down here at 45th in terms of adjusted KD, 1.05, 1.07 overall KD, more maps played, and of course, they had a pretty tough time at this tournament, so you can't expect anything spectacular, but still, putting up a 1.07 is nothing to scoff at all, and maybe as a Maddox counterpart to Looney, he may end up been really helpful for this team. So I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on it down in the comment section below. Of course, maybe some of you guys, especially from the States, may not be too aware of Nolson, but he's been around plenty of years. He was on that Hyper Games team back in the Black Ops 3 days, and then of course he was on Infused before that. I think he came top 12 at Infinite Warfare Champs on Infused, alongside Alex. They were the highest placing European team at Infinite Warfare Champs, so definitely a name that's been around a while. Of course, this is going to be his first time playing alongside really accomplished teammates. He's never been on a team before that doesn't have the lower tier European players. He's never got his opportunity on a really high tier European team with a lot of, apart from this Team Sweden squad, of course, which of course very nearly made the Pro League. They came top 6 at CWL Las Vegas, and I think they were 1 series away or 2 series. Yeah, whatever. Very close to qualifying for the Pro League anyway, at the Pro League qualifier. They were definitely at the very least 2 series away from qualification. So yes, very, very nice. Nolson in the team. It's going to be really cool to see. We'll just have to see how they perform. Be interested to hear your thoughts down in the comment section below. So moving onwards here, we have this from none other than Doug Sensor Martin. What a guy. So yes, I'm winning champs on Modern Warfare next year, does FaZe Sensor says. Bland says, starting from losers to beat Crimsix in 2 best of 5s. I don't know to what degree he's going to actually follow through on this, because of course we hear this all the time. He's planning his legendary comeback to Modern Warfare. It does seem like even earlier this season he said that if FaZe Clan would have given him an opportunity to play on the team, he would have come back and played. Which of course is cool. Of course, FaZe Clan don't want to do that. They have a very nice team. And Sensor is somewhat infamous for finessing his way onto teams and then not necessarily putting up the biggest numbers, but he did get the privilege of playing with Dashi last year, so he definitely still has the ability to get himself on some decent teams. We'll have to see how it goes, of course. Back to, well, of course, this year's boots on the ground, but next year's going to be, I don't know how he would say, proper boots on the ground, maybe with maybe a little bit more traditional. Maybe that's what Sensor would prefer. Who knows? So we'll have to see if he does make the comeback. Very, very cool. I'd be interested to see how it goes. But of course, this is probably the same as what happened at the start of World War II, when a lot of old players, the likes of Stainville, like Gunshi, Embos, these guys came back and were like, okay, this is my year, back on boots on the ground, baby. And then within a couple of months, kind of died out a little bit. So we'll probably see the likes of that again with Sensor, because I'm sure with, history is doomed to repeat, huh? So let's go on to the Pro League. First up, Heretics versus Elevate was the first match yesterday, and an exciting one that went all the way down to a Game 5. The two maps that Heretics lost, they should have arguably won, so pretty remarkable stuff. As you can see, map number 1 here, Heretics closing out 250 to 228 on frequency. It was a very close fought affair. Emery's went off on the side of Elevate, but it wasn't good enough at the end of the day. They nearly made a nice little comeback as Heretics pulled out a lead. Heretics have been very, very good on frequency, hardpoint overall. So after this, I was thinking, okay, Elevate are going to do their traditional, like they did against Denial, losing at map number 1, and then they'll bring it back and win 3-1. I was thinking Elevate would win, and they ended up winning map 2 in a 6-5 fashion, but this was crazy because wow, were they down so much. 5-2 down, and Heretics, they throw it away, they bring it back, and yeah, Breezy went off. Honestly, he's the hard carry for this team right now. Super impressed with his performances. Skies has been very good as well on the whole, but yeah, he breaches 2,000 damage this map, and yeah, just fantastic stuff from Breezy. They bring the 5-2 comeback, which I thought would swing the momentum, but then we go into the control, and it, first side on C side on defense, Heretics have it. They end up winning the very first round. It goes a little bit back and forth, and then in that very final 5th round, it was a pretty crazy turn of events because Elevate had a huge advantage. They were up like 20 lives to 10 lives, something like that, on the offense, trying to cap that A point. So all they've got to do is win the trades, and you're going to win this game easily. But Heretics bring it back. They get all the kills, Blue in the kill feed, Suckery gets a nice 2-piece with the ICR over that barrels building, and then it kind of collapses for Elevate. They're single pushing a little bit, there's no trading, gets down to like a 9 to 7 life advantage, something like that for Elevate. So they really cut it down, did the guys on Heretics here, and eventually Elevate get into the hill and close it out, but it was way closer than it should have been. It was like a choke from either side because Heretics had done very, very well to keep it close, go to 4-4, go to 2-2, even trading the first 4 rounds, and then Elevate come up really huge, and then Heretics bring it back, and then Elevate close it out. So pretty crazy turn of events, but they won 2 close maps, incredibly close maps, and then map number 4, pretty comfortable, to be honest, in favour of Heretics. Impressive stuff from them. Journey went off 25 and 18. And yeah, Whalers really didn't have a good map here. Didn't have a good series overall. And I guess he was the missing feature, I guess, on this Elevate team this time around, as he hasn't really been. He's been relatively damn solid with that ICR in hand. Skies did very well as well. But, it wasn't to be. Heretics showing up big in the hard points, which is impressive stuff from them, considering how good Elevate has been on the whole. And then the final map, Heretics just ran away with it here. Impressive from them, to keep their composure, all things considered. The way they threw Game 2, the way they threw Game 3, arguably, to come back and win Game 4 comfortably and then run away with Game 5 was very impressive here on this gridlock search and destroy. Medhals absolutely went off, but yeah, Elevate really couldn't get near them. Couple of close rounds, but yeah, the kills tell all the difference, really. Once again, Whalers really wasn't having too much impact. And yeah, Sky's got a nice 3-piece, but that was really the only highlight of this map for Elevate. So, impressive stuff. I had a real feeling it was going to go down to a Game 5, or at the very least a Game 4. Exciting series. Heretics finally winning a series against a team they should, in theory, be beating. Maybe Elevate's slightly coming undone here, because, of course, they've been super, super good. But in theory, they shouldn't be that good if you look at the names on paper. So maybe this is the first series we really saw Elevate's true level, I guess you could say. But, you know, impressive stuff once again, winning those clutch games. So yeah, an interesting series. And then, of course, the final series of the day, we had 100 Thieves versus E United, and this was an incredibly impressive performance from E United, coming out with the hot 3-0 sweep of CWL London champions 100 Thieves. Of course, they beat them in the grand finals in 3-1 fashion. And yeah, 100 Thieves get swept. Super impressive. The first time they have lost all respawns in a series since their very first league match back in February, when they, I think, lost to Splyce in a similar fashion. But incredible stuff, really. 100 Thieves had a pretty decent go of it early on. E United absolutely ran away with the second half of Gridlock. Simp is legitimately, I know, like, he's got to be up there with the best players in the game right now. Like he's got to be there, like top 3 or something, because the way this guy is playing, especially in this series and over the course of the last few weeks, has been absolutely mind-blowing. You watch this kid play, it is incredible. The shots he is hitting, just unbelievable stuff. 33 and 18, map number 1 for Simp. They completely run away with it, and the fact that your SMG is doing that is absolutely filthy. I cannot overstate the importance of having an SMG player that is that damn good at getting those initial kills. You can't buy that. It's just unbelievable. And the fact he's got a Beezy alongside him as well, who is also filthy. Like, I used to think when I looked at this United team, like, damn, a Beezy is unreal, man. And now Simp's there with him. Like, these guys are undisputed the best SMG duo in the game. In my opinion, it isn't even close right now. Unreal. And yes, and then map number 2, it got a little bit close down the stretch. E United went up 5-2 in this one, threw a couple of rounds, even though, to be fair, 100 Thieves were throwing rounds. The very first round, I think it was a 3-1 for 3 versus 1 for 100 Thieves. Clayster gets a nice 2-piece, runs away from Enable, clutches the 1 versus 3, and there was another round like that further on in the game here. So, interestingly, the E United were on their best hardpoint streak coming into this tournament. 100 Thieves were on their best S&D streak, but E United are, in theory, a better search and destroy team, and they do manage to close it out in a 6-4 fashion. Clay does very well, this 11-4 performance from him. Once again, as I say, not with the sniper in hand, very good for E United fans. And then at game 3, in the end, E United closing out relatively comfortable. It was very close in the end. Well, a couple of these rounds were very, very close indeed. But E United do get the better of it. Once again, Simp getting kills that he should not be getting in a million years. And yeah, Kenny and Slasher had good maps, as they tend to on the controls. But yeah, really, Priester and Octane not particularly showing up. And yeah, E United just in this series, the slaying power was just right on point. Brasini had a very good series overall. And of course, I mean, you know what you're going to get from Simp and Abizi at this point. Truly filthy. I think on another day, this series could have gone another way. I feel like these two teams right now are very, very closely matched indeed. I think if they play it again tomorrow, it might be a different result. It might go to a game 5 or something like that. I feel like a couple of the players in 100 Thieves underperformed below a level where they normally would. But yeah, it's truly incredible stuff from E United, and you've got to be really happy right now if you're an E United fan. Of course, they come away with the victory here. Clayster with a 1.34 over the series, Simp with a 1.23, and yeah, just impressive stuff, to be honest. Octane and Priester not with the best series. Everyone negative on the side of 100 Thieves, but to be expected when you're getting blown out, pretty much blown out. I mean, it wasn't exactly, it was very close. You felt like the two teams were relatively closely matched, apart from game 1, which was pretty damn comfortable in favour of E United. But of course, that map, Simp absolutely crushed it. And what more do you expect? 60 kills over the course of the series, 10 more than anyone else could, actually no, 10 more than anyone 100 Thieves could manage, only 2 more than his SMG partner in Abizi could put up. So just really remarkable. I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on this down in the comment section below. Where do you rank Simp right now? Because the levels he is putting up in all game modes are truly incomprehensible. Even that 2-piece he got on payload when he was in a 1 versus 4 somehow just absolutely destroys both players and hops off the map in the process. Just watching him play is just wonderful right now. And it's really a treat to watch. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like if you did, subscribe if you're new as always. I'd greatly appreciate it. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I will see you next time.